sports in the Treasure Valley covered. Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM. The Ticket.
Game 4, Idaho Steelheads, Florida Everglades tonight. Everblades, sorry, JP. Florida right. Everblades. And 5:30 a puck drop. We'll get you to our coverage about 5:15. Cam McGuire for a quick pregame show. And hopefully, Prater, the Steelheads can at least win a game in this series.
I think they're going to be able to pull off a game. They're just too good of a team, too resilient of a roster. I think it's going to happen. I hope it's going to happen. I think at this point, we've all resigned the fact that there's not going to be a Kelly Cup parade in Boise, Idaho, but I would certainly love to see that happen. And a sweep would just grind these players all offseason. So there's a little bit of motivation there, but I'm sure they don't want to deal with that. Come on, got to win at least a game, Steelheads.
Yep, you win a game tonight, then you set it up for Saturday, and you can say at least we can put ourselves in a position to take this thing back to Boise, which let's hope we can get that situation. All right, Prater. We have the two bombshell, two big-time headlines this week. The golf headline, obviously the Messi headline. You are going on a big-time trip. Tell us about it again.
Tomorrow, leave for the Middle Fork of the Salmon River, gone for a week. I'll be back next Friday, and I'll be popping my phone out of the trunk of my car, and turning that sucker on. And ball game this past week, we had two bombshell headlines with, as you said, Messi and the golf merger. Two bombshell headlines. And then all of a sudden next week, I'd like to have at least one. What's the one other than the Steelheads coming back and winning all these games and winning games, Tuesday, Wednesday in Boise next week, JP?
Correct. Yep.
If they could win 2 games in Boise next week, and all of a sudden right there on Twitter, I see a Friday or a Saturday parade in downtown Boise, that would be the bombshell. That's not what we're talking about. We've all three got pretty big headlines that we're going to talk about. JP's is international, yours is local, mine's regional. Let's get after it, boys.
All right, I'll start this thing off. And Mike Prater is going to return in 1 week. His phone.
Got to give you the sounder, Johnny.
Sorry, buddy.
What kind of sounder is this?
This is a teletype sounder.
I forgot we were doing this.
Sounder.
Okay.
Teletype sounder.
You know, kind of like
I like it.
That's not how a teletype sounds.
I mean, this is in a newsroom, Prater. You grew up with these.
That's not how these
Play
sound.
along, Prater. Play. What is it supposed to sound?
It sounds like Richard Marx playing the piano or something. And I just made Richard Marx up. I don't even know who the hell that is.
I don't either. Okay.
That sounds newsy to me. Come
on,
on.
JP.
Text us if you think that sounds newsy.
Prater, you are going to get your phone. You're going to finish your rafting excursion, and you're going to turn your phone on, and you are going to get a press release. This will be in your email, and it will be from the Boise State Athletic Department.
Ooh, okay.
And it will say, in 2026, for the first time since 2010, the Idaho Vandals will travel to Albertson Stadium to play Boise State in football. Jeremiah Dickey will be quoted saying, "We expect a sellout. The state has needed this game. This has been on my checklist since I've figured out and learned about this state and the history between these two schools. I have a good reputation with the folks in Moscow, unlike previous administrators here in Boise. And this was a game, not every year, but if we can make this game happen on every occasion, so forth, we're going to do it. We have an opening in our schedule in 2026, as do the Idaho Vandals."
Boise State doesn't have a home opening in its schedule. They have a road opening. So unless you want to do this,
they're not going up there. They can play a home game. They can just have another home game that year, right? 2026. They have Cincinnati, Georgia. Wait. They'll have East Carolina. Memphis, and then one other,
a road trip to Oregon, They have to have a road game, but I don't want to
have to.
They do, but I don't want to get in the way of your.
It's not against the rules if they don't. It's just maybe against his schedule philosophy. They don't have to.
They have a home game. The first home opening is 2027. Do the Vandals have an opening in 27?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, let's make it happen either 26 or 27.
26 or 27. I thought it was 26, but I don't want to wait till 27.
They can cancel the game.
This is my bombshell. Maybe they cancel the game against East Carolina. That's home in 2026. East Carolina comes to the Blue
with a road trip in 28. So
28.
That's a home and home contract. Those are tough to get out of. But to me, that's better than my headline. that's better than JP's headline. If I read that headline, I don't care what the details are.
Idaho and Boise State are playing again in football.
I'm diving back into the river and I'm giggling like a fish, man.
Yep.
That's going to be the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've been dreaming about that for an awful long time. I want it to happen. I understand why Boise State didn't. I understand why I understand why everybody got weird.
Yeah.
Ball game. I'm putting you in charge. Make it happen.
Let's do that. 26 or 27. Heck, 29. I don't give a rip. Set it up, schedule it, and give us something for us to talk about. And Prater's going to see that press release. We'll get this news next week. It'll be the big news of the week, obviously, and we'll be talking about it. And when Prater gets back, he can't wait to turn the mic on and share his thoughts.
Oh, that would make me so excited, ball game. You already got me excited just with the thought of that. I love that idea. I love that idea an awful lot.
All right, JP.
My turn?
There comes the teletype music.
See, does that sound newsy, Johnny?
I like it. It's fine with me.
My bombshell headline is this. Dateline, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Jay Monahan out. Tiger Woods named commissioner of the PGA Tour.
Woo!
The story is going to give some details that in a revolt from PGA Tour members, Jay Monahan has been forced out. Tiger Woods, 15-time major champion and 82-time winner on the PGA Tour, has been appointed commissioner of the PGA Tour by the policy board.
Is that why he has not tweeted or been public or talked or had any kind of appearance whatsoever since the merger on Monday?
It's either that or he's rehabbing his leg, but I think he's quiet because he's silently working behind the scenes to try to get out of this deal that was signed off on or at least agreed to earlier in the week.
I love this idea. I think it's the most realistic, but I didn't know what your idea was, ball game. I think your idea is very realistic. JP, I think ball game, your idea is going to take some time. I would not be surprised at all now that you brought it up, JP, that this does happen next week. I think that sounds very, very odd, but Jay Monahan could easily get fired by the end of this show.
Yes.
And why not Tiger Woods?
I mean, he's been injured. He's not playing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's got plenty of time, but it seems like he's got plenty of time. He's, just rehabbing.
I mean, my questions would be, it would be huge. This would be the big story. Tiger Woods is now running the golf world, right? He's the commissioner.
He kind of does, kind of like LeBron runs a basketball team.
Right.
Tiger kind of runs the golf world.
Right. Who's got more clout in the world of golf than Tiger Woods?
Nobody. And people, and the tour guys would be ecstatic on this. Fans would love it. Corporate sponsorships would increase. Tiger, do you think Tiger can't close a deal? Of course he could. And if sponsorships through the roof, he would take golf to another level. He would say, hey, here's X, Y, and Z of where I'm going to put my stamp on the PGA Tour. I've had a lot of ideas for a lot of times. I've played golf since I was 8 months years old. I always say 8 months years old. 8 months old. And this would be a big thing. Yeah.
I think it would be a fantastic thing. Now, LIV's not going away. LIV and PGA will they'll be intertwined forever. So he's going to have to deal with that.
How's he going to do that?
Well, maybe just being Tiger, smooth it out a little bit, sponsors this. Oh, they don't need sponsors. They got all the Saudi blood money they could possibly want. They don't need money. Now they got billions of Saudi blood money. So I think Tiger, despite his hiccups in the past, I think is a very good diplomat. I think he's a good negotiator. I think he's a good charmer. And I think he can make a lot of different people work together for the unity of the game of golf, which is all we really care about at this point, right?
And all they talked about this week was growing the game of golf, which is BS because it was all about money. But Tiger, if he was named the PGA Tour commissioner, would be about growing the game of golf.
With Saudi money.
With blood money, yes.
With Saudi blood money. JP, yours is very realistic. Johnny, yours is very realistic. I like mine, but mine is not very realistic, and that's what really depresses me here. I want to come back next Friday, and I want to see that UCLA, and I don't like UCLA, but I'm picking them because it's more realistic. UCLA has buyer's remorse, and they're coming back to the Pac-12 or 11 or 13 or whatever the hell that would make it at that time.
Okay.
I don't think it's legally possible. This week we came out with some scheduling, and they're supposed to go in 24 to the Big Ten. And the Big Ten came out with some scheduling models this week. They're deep into the heart of those negotiations. I think UCLA is committed till 2030, which is the original contract when they have to go. But I think and we heard some about this, about the LIV golfers in terms of buyer's remorse and wanting to slink their way back into the PGA Tour. I kind of see some stuff going on here. Why does UCLA want to go? They took the money. They tried to be USC. And it's now they have to take their soccer team to Indiana. And there's a lot of travel. There's nothing in it for student athletes. And I think that there can be some money for the Pac-12 and UCLA that keeps them happy and satisfied. But I wish that UCLA had an avenue for buyer's remorse. And I turn on my phone next Friday, and the headline says UCLA is coming back to the Pac-12. I'm not going with USC because that's never going to happen.
That would be awesome.
That ship has sailed. I would love to see USC do it, but that ship has sailed. Go Bruins, get your ass back to the Pac-12 so we can watch Tiger Woods run golf and the Vandals play Boise State in football.
That would be awesome, man. I'd love to see that. And you're right. UCLA, come on. You love the Pac-12. Pac-12 loves you. You have fun going to Iowa City in late October for a football game, or like you said, bringing your championship girls soccer program, playing a conference game in Piscataway, New Jersey, rather than Berkeley, California. Big pain in the butt.
Yes, sir.
Couple of people, Stan the race car guy texted in, and he says his prediction, and I thought about this too, but it was too low hanging fruit. But it's Tom Brady. You'll wake up, or you'll come out of your retreat, Prater, and see that Tom Brady is the new quarterback of the Raiders.
Not going to happen.
Brady is back. So,
that's not going to happen.
A couple other people chimed in on there too. But JP, we got to get to Everett Sheen, head coach of the Idaho Steelheads, coming back from an 0-3 deficit. It's been done before. It's been done before by the Idaho Steelheads. Does he remember it? And what does he remember about it? You'll hear from Everett Sheen coming up. And remember, we're going to get you to that game in about an hour. Game 4 from Florida against the Everblades. JP, Prater on the Ballgame.
Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. So many ways to listen.